Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Saturday. I hope everybody is having a great start to the weekend and a good day. And praise be to baby Jesus, it is not January anymore. Thank God. We'll get into that maybe in another video. I want to show this off. Look, I got this for Valentine's Day, because listen, I hate Valentine's Day. I've never been a fan of Valentine's Day, but I saw this on the TikTok shop, and on the night that it was to go away for forever, I was like, oh my gosh, let's buy some things in the TikTok shop, and this was one of them. It is so very comfortable. I picked this color because it's like a pink, but it's like a darker pink, like it's a cross between a pink. I think it was called a heathered red maybe, but it's not like real red. So it is very comfortable. I got it on the TikTok shop, so I thought I would wear it today to start off a new month. Okay, so I did finally watch the second part of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. Meaning me, I'm going to break it down. Okay. So listen, they started this episode off with a segment that very well could have been just left out. This was between Angie and Meredith. Okay. So what was brought up in this segment was the rumor that came out last season about Angie's husband, Sean, cheating on her with other men. So cheating on her with men. So stepping out of the marriage in other relationships. That I thought was handled last season. I thought that was all handled in the reunion last season. I guess I was wrong. But then they also, of course, had to bring up Sean going on that podcast and Meredith saying that he said that Meredith used Brooks's sexuality to her advantage. So that's what was handled in this one. And the question was, why are you holding Angie, why are you holding Meredith accountable for the gay rumor last season when all she said was that the rumor's out there, but never held Whitney accountable for getting Monica to spill the rumor on camera? And Angie says, what does she say? Angie says, Meredith said she didn't do it, so I guess let's just let it go. That's where it should have died. It should have died right then and there. But Meredith needs her moment. Listen, Meredith did not have a lot going on this season. So Meredith needs her moment. Meredith needs to fight for that snowflake. So listen, I'm going to tell you what. When Meredith talked, I didn't pay a lot of attention because it was just desperate. It was so desperate. So then she goes and she's talking about how Angie came for my marriage, this, that, and the other, and then she came for my house. And he's like, what did she say about your house? She said that I'm living in a rental, and it's like it's an Airbnb. Andy, of course, was just like, yeah, but you rent it, don't you? I mean, you do rent your house. She's like, I rent my house because I am not in Salt Lake City full time. But the way she said it. So yeah, so she's once again, she's like, she's talking about my house. Okay, she didn't really say anything nasty about your house. She just said that she's renting, which is the truth. But Meredith was like, she said it in a tone. She said it to make it worse than it is. You rent a house. She didn't say about what your house looks like. She just said you rent a house. That's it. Which I don't understand why you would have to rent a house if you're not in Salt Lake City all year. Why can't you just have a house? It doesn't make sense. Maybe it makes sense to somebody else. It does make sense to me. So then after that, we go into the whole thing of Sean going on the podcast. They're going back and forth. Angie's like, why don't you play the interview? And they had it queued up. It was on the spot. They played it, and it turns out it to me sounded like it was a very leading question. And he was like, it seems to me, if anyone went into this whole podcast with an agenda, that it was the actual host. It was the podcaster. He's the one who pushed him to say this and who said this. So they're going back and forth about this. You could tell everybody was over it, including Andy. I mean, Andy was like, this seems like a huge waste of time. And then Meredith, oh, really, Andy? Does it seem like a huge waste of time? Then Andy had to backtrack and be like, I'm talking about this podcast. Because obviously he was leading. I'm going to tell you what. I think he backtracked. I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant, because he was like, is this what you're arguing about? And then he said, this is a huge waste of time. I think he meant this whole segment was a huge waste of time. Like, this is ridiculous. And then they go back to talking about last season with the rumor about Sean, about Angie's husband. And I thought that this was handled last season. So, they're saying eventually it comes out that, okay, Meredith didn't say it, because Monica at first on camera was like, Meredith told me that this is what happened. And then she said later at the après-ski event, I didn't hear that from Meredith. Where'd you hear it? I heard it from the streets of Salt Lake City. And that was said. But here's Meredith yelling and screaming about, I'm leaving. I am leaving. I didn't sign up for this. Unless you play that clip from après-ski, I am leaving. Girl, Andy Cohen, let her leave, please. As Meredith Marks would say, you can leave. Let her leave. As a matter of fact, I feel like I got something in my tooth. Because I had a salad. See, I have this salad that's here. A little bit of that salad. I feel like I got something in my tooth. But everybody that was on that side, on that couch, they can all leave. Meredith, Heather, Lisa, they can all leave. I know people love Lisa, and they think she's like just great reality TV. She might be. She's not for me. But they can all leave. So Andy's like, listen, that we're saying it's been ironed out. We know you didn't say it. You're not the one that said it. It's okay. Calm your tits, Meredith Marks. Calm your tits. Sit down. And she did. Leave. Let her leave. So then the husbands, they start talking to the husbands. John and Justin talk about getting physical. Let's get physical at the Mob Wives party. Physical. When they got physical. So they both apologized. But Justin was like, listen, that first time, I apologize. But second time, I don't think that I really did anything wrong. I didn't get aggressive. I said something. I asked a question. That's it. I just asked a question. There was a question for Whitney. You mentioned a rumor about the Barlows swinging. And so that was brought up. And then it was mentioned that Lisa, you brought up Sean's name in connection with a circle activity. I'm not going to say what it was. I don't want to be a jerk, but you brought that up. So Lisa was like, in response, Lisa said, when that happened and she said that about me and John, I was so upset. I was so upset and angry. I couldn't even formulate a sentence. So what you did then, you could though, because instead of you going, see, like if Whitney would say something to me, like if I was there and she said something nasty, if I was married and she said something nasty about me and my husband and said we were swingers, then I wouldn't go after Angie, like you go after the person that said it. But instead, Whitney's like, I heard that you two were swingers. So instead of her going after Whitney, she goes after Sean and talks about some circle activity. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you go after Whitney? She's like, it was an analogy. So why wouldn't you make the analogy with Whitney? I didn't understand that. Whitney apologizes to both John and Lisa. They accepted. I didn't buy that they fully accepted. I'm just saying, I didn't even buy that John fully accepted because he was like, that's nice, thanks. The question to Justin was, why did you not stand up for your wife, for Whitney, when Seth called her a biatch? He said, listen, just that morning, it was terrible timing because just that morning, I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to get involved in the wives drama. But now, watching it back and seeing how aggressive it was, I regret not saying anything. I'm going to tell you this right now. I have written for certain. Do you see what I have written? Wait, where is it? It's right there. Seth is a fucking clown. Seth is a fucking clown. Get rid of him and his wife. He comes out with the reason why all this happened was because it's a combination of alcohol and what Sean had said about Brooks and about Meredith. And then he offers this half-assed apology, this half-assed I'm sorry. But then he explains that, listen, biatch isn't that big of a deal because I call my friends. If I were to see John on the street, I would say, what's up, biatch? Hey, dog. And so he didn't see that anything's wrong with the fact that he just screamed over, that he thrust this phone in her face and started screaming biatch. But I mean, he's pissed whenever Whitney calls his wife bitch twice or two or three times. It's not okay for her to call Meredith a bitch, but it's okay for you to be like biatch and scream it in her face. Listen, I get it that when you say biatch, it can be funny. There have been times when my mom has been like, when Dolly's been like, boy, she's a real biatch. And it's funny. But when you're screaming it, no, Seth can leave. And listen, there was another part in there when they were like, you travel a lot, you're in Ohio a lot. Is there a side chick? Who the fuck would want to be a side chick to that? No, thank you. Then they were talking to Todd. So listen, and this was in conjunction with the cheating. I'm gonna tell you, I love Bronwyn. This reunion has not been good to her, especially this episode. Like last episode, do I think I don't know. With that jewelry, she flipped her stories pretty quickly. Like, she was like, I have all the jewelry. And now she's like, I don't. We didn't buy it. And now they were talking to Todd about her sharing like the cheating. They asked him, what do you think about this? He said, I haven't seen it yet. I don't understand how he hasn't watched it yet. Maybe he's just so busy, or maybe he just doesn't care to watch it. But it's funny that now they're calling it, it's odd that they're calling it an emotional affair now. Because on the boat, it didn't seem like it was just emotional. But now it's an emotional affair. And listen, good for Heather that this happened, because Heather doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to say on this reunion. So good for her that this happened and she got some time. But I do agree with Heather. I mean, I hate to say that, but on the boat, Bronwyn was really putting it out there and really pushing it that Todd cheated. So now, seeing how it is afterwards when she's there in front of Todd, now I'm like, was this just performative? Were you like, I mean, I believe that something happened, but here's the thing. She had said that Bronwyn had said that she thinks the conversation went too far. I think that's what it was. I think that there was talking and it was maybe inappropriate. But now it's looking like it wasn't like, and to be honest with you, if I was in a relationship and the man I was in a relationship with was talking to someone and it was inappropriate and it was like flirty or something, that's crossing the line for me. However, on the boat, she really did make it seem like it was like worse, like the worst level of cheating. And then remember whenever she said he bought me a ring with 5 diamonds, those are the 5 promises? Todd couldn't even remember the 5 promises. He was struggling to remember those promises. He came up with 4. She had to tell him the 5th one, which was transparency. Also, the look on Todd's face when Andy brought up Gwen being the one who like saw him on the iPad having these conversations, that look on Todd's face, that was interesting. It kind of made me think at first, did that happen? Like, did Gwen catch him? Did that happen? But now I'm thinking either it didn't happen or that look was like, I can't believe that you brought Gwen into this and you told and you said that Gwen's the one who saw this. So I don't know. I thought that segment did not do any favors for Bronwyn. Next, they got into Mary talking about Robert Jr. I'm going to tell you this. That whole thing was just so sad and so heartbreaking. However, the reason why she wanted it on TV, on camera, was so that it could help someone. Everybody was so sad about this. And the part when Andy said that, when Robert Jr. said that he felt like a stain, that was just so heartbreaking. as someone coming from someone who has felt like that in the past, yeah, I felt that. That was heartbreaking. But it's a testament to Mary that Robert is now flourishing. Robert did 30 days and he is better. And listen, everybody on that stage was teary-eyed. Even Lisa fucking Barlow, okay? Lisa Barlow is saying, what'd she say? She said, Mary, you're a great mom. And throughout this, they were cutting to Meredith. She was stone-faced. She didn't have any emotion. After Lisa said, Mary, you're a great mom, they cut to Meredith. I'm going to put the picture. This right here. You see? This was the look. There was no crying. There was no sadness. She almost looks like she's pissed. Okay? Fuck that. Get Meredith Marks the fuck out of there. Either demote her to friend or just take her off. I thought that was shitty. Okay, so then it moved into another area with Mary. And Andy was like, this season we saw a different Mary. You were lighter, you were more engaging. What was the difference? And she said, well, it's because I finally found a real friend in Angie. So Andy being Andy, he's like, not to start any shit, but not to start any problems. But what's the difference in your relationship with Meredith and with Angie? So he had to go there. She's just like, you could tell she was trying to be like diplomatic. And she said, well, my friendship with Meredith is different because our lives are different. Meredith is always flying someplace. She's always busy. And then someone wrote in and was like, Mary probably wanted Meredith to leave wanted to leave her party the second she saw those bangs. And honestly, Meredith was like, or wait, no, Mary, what did Mary say? Mary said no, but she said, but those bangs were a little bit of type of suffering. When she said, those bangs were a little bit of type of suffering. Oh, Mary Cosby. Oh, welcome back to the small screen. I loved her. And then they talked it out a little bit. Which, listen, here's the thing. Meredith sent a text message to Mary saying, listen, my nephew Alex went through a similar thing, and if Robert would like to reach out to him and speak, that would be great. He would love it. So there's that. But the thing that perplexed me, that confused me, was because Meredith had gone through something like this with her nephew. I thought that if this would have, gotten anyone teary-eyed, it would have been Meredith, because she went through something similar with her nephew. So I just didn't understand. It was so odd. So they talked a little bit. Mary and Meredith hug it out, and it's like, yeah, hooray. Honestly, I don't know that took. She's like, I love you, Meredith. Angie, make everything good with Meredith because I love her. I don't know that that's the case. So listen, next week, Whitney joins in on the fun. I cannot wait for the interaction between Mary and Brittany. That's going to be gold. That's going to be reality TV gold. So listen, in the comments, this is probably a long video, but in the comments, let me know if you watched and what you thought. If nobody told you yet today, you're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. Always be aware of your surroundings. Please. Oh, it's crazy out there. Please. Number 2, be smart and safe. Also, hydrate often with water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are always sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you can make it through to the other side. I love you guys, and I will see you either later or tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.